Hello, welcome to my channel once again. In the last video, we saw how we could build a .NET application, a console application to be specific, that could send messages to the Azure Bus service. In this video, we want to see how we could pick messages from Azure Bus service. So if you don't know what pick means, so in the case of sending messages, we are sending messages to a queue. So a queue, you know the way queues are, first in, first out. You have people lining up, the first person, second person, third person. So in the last video, we were sending messages. So we were sending people to that queue. But now in this video, we want to look at how we can build a console application that can just look at the queue and say that a particular person is on the queue, a particular person is on the queue. So when we are picking a queue, we are only looking, we are not removing from the queue, we are not adding to the queue. So let me share my screen. It's going to be a very, very simple application. We are not going to take time at all. Just about 4 lines of code, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a queue that we have here. So I have 2 messages in this queue. So we've used this queue in some of our videos in the past. So the first message, the text is just first message. For the second one, we just have second message as well. So what I'm going to be doing is that, so let me just add, so this is fine. So one thing I would just say is that, initially when we created our shared access policy, we selected, for this was the one I did earlier on. Our claim was for sending, so to send message. So the kind of like the access right, the privilege that this access policy had was just to send messages. So because in this case we are not sending message, we are picking, so we want to listen. So when you click on create, it's always important that you select listing instead of send. So that's just something to take note of, and I've already done that. So that's basically what we'll be doing over here. So let me go over to my Visual Studio. Yeah, so I'm on my Visual Studio now. I believe you can see my screen. So I'm on my Visual Studio now. This is a very simple application, very much similar to the one that we used the last time. A lot more simpler because it's quite straightforward here. So what we are doing is this first line, we already know what it is, the connection string connecting our application to the bus service, and you know where I got it from. And the only thing you should take note of is that you should click on listing or manage. So you can't just click on just send, because in this case, we are not sending messages. We are picking, we want to pick. Then the name of your queue as well. Then this is the class that we are using, service bus clients, and we have an object underscore client that we are passing the connection string as a parameter. Then we call service bus receiver, and we will be using the clients that we created earlier on to call a method create receiver. So this procedure is something that we are already familiar with it. So we also pass in the queue name, and there's an async function here that is taking in the receiver mode. We are passing the receiver mode, and this is the interesting part here. So you can see that we have pick lock. That's specifying that what we're interested in is to pick. In the next video, another short video like this, so we are going to be receiving message, and you are going to see how this particular value that we have here will be a lot different. Then over here we are trying to get the content of the message, and we are using the receiver that we created earlier on. and we are passing several methods over here before eventually writing to screen. So let me just run this and let's see the output that we would get. So I'll be sharing my output screen now. So let me run it and I'll share my output screen. Share output screen. Yeah, and we can see the output first message, which is the message that we had in our service bus. Interesting. So we have this. In our next video, I will also be showing you how you can pick all the messages at once. So you want to look through all the message. So in this case, we are only looking at the first message that if we were to receive, we are going to um receive that message. That's what we are viewing. So many of these functions here also have so for example, when we have receive message, we can also use receive messages. Receive messages is also one of the subclasses that we can use. One of the objects that we can use with this root object here. So instead of receive message, you can also receive messages. But this is a very simple program that will help you if you need to pick just a single message from the queue. If you want to pick one message from the queue, this addresses that. Okay, so if you, oh, I thought I was sharing. I'm not even sharing. I thought I was sharing my Visual Studio. Okay, so if you find this video informative, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day, everyone.